We all go to Del Taco to get lunch since my wife is gone.
Where's your wife?
Yeah, she took the baby and went to her sister's. Don't know when she'll be back.
Wrong pipe.
Wrong hole. Wrong hole Mari is what we call you.
Okay.
Wonder what really grinds my gears in 2024?
What doesn't
Gears
grind
that
your
haven't
gears
been
is
properly
the-
oiled?
Yeah, it does constantly. Actually, to be fair, it doesn't really grind my gears. Wonder what grinds the Disney CEO's gears? Disney Plus. I think, and I think this topic in our little rundown is even called like Joven's rant, but this is a topic for all of us. I think this is a hot take, but I think in 2 years we won't have Disney Plus or Max. And if that's too much of an extreme, they for sure will just not look like, and the industry will not act the same as it does now when it comes to streaming.
Wait, why Disney Plus and Max versus Netflix and Hulu and the rest?
Mainly because, thank you for asking, Mari. So, back in 2023, some of the biggest box office flops came from Disney and Warner Brothers, more specifically DC. Now, the reason these had horrible box office numbers are for two main contributing factors that kind of go hand in hand. One, we can all agree that over the last 5 years, the quality of their content has just gone down. You can have a movie that you enjoyed in phase 4, but things pop up in the end credit scenes of a Marvel movie, and then 4 years later, there's still nothing about them. Where's White Vision? Lasercorn doesn't care.
I sure don't. Most boring character in the MCU, Vision.
Also, some of their movies were stemmed from streaming content, which not everyone watched, or they weren't paying as much attention as they were the movies. So there was just a lot that just wasn't really adding up, and the content had started to drop. And when you put that right next to the fact that, Little Mermaid, actually that made a lot of money. Blue Beetle comes to theaters, and I see this. I'm like, that's a DC title. It will be on Max in 3 months. I do not need to pay to watch that in theaters. I will watch this on HBO Max. And that thinking, yes, has taken over America. And just there's movies you can just wait for streaming, if that. And so why those studios is because they are the ones losing out on the most amount of money because of branding. That being said, Barbie is a Warner Brothers film, and that did obviously the best movie of the year. So that too made it to streaming. Oppenheimer was Universal, I think.
I'm just saying it did
Can I-
the best.
can I-
So wait, no, someone has
yeah.
their hand up. Someone has.
Oh, we have a hand.
Oh, we have a hand.
We have a hand.
All right, that's the new rule that lives.
whole-
Chaotic
Sir.
man with the hand. What do you got, good
Man
sir?
with the hand.
So counterpoint, I think in when did you say this would happen by? There would be no more HBO Max and Disney?
I think
End of
I'm giving it 2
2024?
years.
Oh, 2 years.
2025.
End of 2025. I think by then, not only do I think you're wrong, I think by that time there will only be Max and Disney. I think those are going to be the two that survive this. Disney has already pretty much swallowed up Hulu. They own Hulu now. There's no reason to have a Hulu subscription. I canceled mine because it's cheaper to just get Disney Plus with Hulu. So
Yeah.
So Hulu.
Do you have commercials? I'm trying to figure out how to do that.
Yeah, you get commercials.
Yeah,
still.
You have
I don't
to have
know.
commercials unless you pay like
Yeah.
way out of your ass.
Yeah,
I think I'm doing that.
So Hulu will be relegated to just like another section of Disney, right? So when you go into the Disney Plus app, it's got Marvel, Star Wars, Discovery, whatever. So Hulu
Yeah.
will just be that. That's all Hulu will
I
be. It's
love
not its
that
own
you've
thing
brought
anymore.
this point up.
So wait, hang on, I'm not done yet. And
Okay, okay.
I think the natural response from Warner Brothers and Max is just to buy Netflix, and then Netflix will be relegated to somewhere in Max.
What's
And then you'll
funny
have
is there's been a headline.
Joven,
Pepsi.
I have my hand up. And
Oh,
No,
you
no one
don't.
can
You
see
have
it.
your
No one can
camera
see it.
off.
No one can see it.
off the entire shoot.
but I'm. That's why
Literally
I'm
no
verbally
one can
saying.
see it.
Oh, you're verbally saying it. Well, Mari has her hand up that I can see. I guess it's Mari's turn.
Mari,
Okay,
Okay, so
But I had
Joven,
my
when
hand up
you're
first.
no, but yeah, well, no one could see it. So I'm going.
Yeah, it doesn't count.
So, Joven, what you're saying is because of movies from these studios are flopping, you're saying they're going to take their streaming services away because people are not going to the movie theaters to watch and only wait.
I think that I think it makes more sense financially for them to take away their streaming services and license out their content to other platformers when they feel comfortable with it. Like, Spider-Verse eventually made it to Netflix, never to Disney. Sony doesn't have their own platform. Sony's making money.
What happens to like shows like Andor, right? Like shows that are doing really well, Mandalorian, shows that are doing extremely well that will not be in theaters ever.
I think they would license it out onto other platforms or stop making it because again, all those cost so much money and they are not making money back. If you look at it at a business point, there is no reason to make Andor season 2.
It's so interesting. Just for the audience to know, the movies that came out in 2023 include Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania, Guardians of the Galaxy 3, Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny,
Which was a huge flop also.
and Haunted
Also a
Mansion,
huge flip.
and The Little
Huge
Mermaid.
flop.
Yeah.
Little Mermaid did
didn't
well,
see
and
any
so
of
did
those.
Guardians.
I would say Elemental was a very, very good story about immigrant parents. So if you have immigrant parents, it'll make you cry. I loved Indiana Jones, to be honest.
For those who saw it. So Inky with your hand.
Yes. So when you emailed this topic, I was very confused. I thought that you were saying that there will be no more people streaming on Twitch.
Did you do a whole deep dive about why Twitch streamers will stay?
That's amazing. He did the
I
wrong
didn't do a deep
homework.
dive.
So he's like, I will personally prove him wrong by
Our
continuing to
worlds are
stream
very
until-
different.
I was
Our
like,
world's so different.
I was like, why would he think that people would stop streaming by 2025? That makes no sense. There's
It's so good.
So to Laserporn's point about Disney buying
porn. He
stuff
said
up.
laser porn. What is that Freudian slip?
Laser porn. Oh
Wow.
Because I was thinking of Lasercorn's point, and it came out Laser Point. That is, in fact, dyslexia.
Another case of dyslexia.
All day you do your dyslexia. The reason
My brain
why
is
I've been
not
saying
back.
dyslexia over and over is because he was trying to say dyslexia and he just said dyslexia like twice to say it.
Yeah.
So
Laser
yes,
porn.
Lasercorn's point of Disney buying up Hulu. So Hulu already had a majority stakeholder in Disney.
Never get
They
this
had
if we keep calling
51%.
him out. Just let him know.
So Disney kind of doubled down on this. They were like, all right, if we're going to make money for this, we need more. So let's just take the rest of Hulu and make this a thing. Because also Amazon is bringing a lower tier for Prime Video where
Ad-supported.
you can.
Yeah.
What's that?
It's an
what?
ad supported tier.
Oh yeah,
You have to
ad-supported
watch
tier.
Look,
So
I-
it costs less and you get 4 minutes of ads per hour of content.
Oh my
And-
god.
Oh my God, what? It's 4 minutes. That is less than you would get on normal TV. That is less than you get on YouTube. That is a fine number.
Look,
There's
can I-
nothing wrong with 4 minutes of
Streamers
ads
are just
spread out.
turning into television.
Yeah, and you guys keep jumping ahead in my points.
We don't know what your points
Look, let
are.
me-
I know.
It is.
Wait, you have points?
Television. We got away from television, and it was a golden age of streaming where there were no ads. There was just content,
Yeah.
content, and now it's going to a place where it's just as expensive as television and cable used to be, and we're getting
Yes.
just as much as ads.
Do you know why?
So now
Inky, I'll get to your hand, but to now that point, yes. Disruptors come through, they break the industry because they're like, it should be like this.
Disruptors Vomit.
After a couple years, they realize, oh no, there's a reason it was like that. We can't do it at these costs for a long period of time. And then they just wind up replacing the industry that was there before. But now they do not have the same workers' rights in place. They do not have the same laws that they have to follow. For example, look at the writer's strike with streaming. Streaming replaced television, became television, and then didn't have to pay writers. And then years later, they had to go on strike because of it. Like it's a constant system that happens in multiple industries.
I just wanted to say to our patrons, first of all, I'm sorry. Second of all, Joven replaced one of my topics, seemingly because he thought my topic was too dry, and now we're talking about the business of streaming services.
This is fascinating, passionate stuff.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I suggested replacing one with this Joven rant because I thought it would be
About Twitch streamers?
about anything more interesting than.
Yeah.
But no, it's kind of interesting. But let's be honest, this is something that interests us probably more than our audience. But yeah,
But it's going to affect people.
Yeah.
Disney's doubling down with Hulu. Yeah, Disney's going to doubling down with Hulu. They'll realize after a few years, the reason there isn't a ad-free version of Disney and Hulu is because they make so much more money on the ad revenue than they do the subscriptions. That's why Amazon Prime is adding an ad support, because they make more money with it.
Yeah, and
So
the number one
The
thing
big
Amazon's got to
question
do
is-
is like they really got to determine their KPIs to make sure that they're getting the ROI that they're looking for. Because they're just not honed
You're
in.
not wrong. They actually do need to pivot because of those
Well,
things.
the big question is like, does this leave room for the next like disruptor to come through again, right? Like, is it going to change streaming again next? And I do wonder, like,
think we're
have
a
we
ways away
broken
from it,
the
but they will.
system to the point where this is how it has to be. Like, there is no redoing the full industry, or if it leaves room for something else to come through.
Personally, I don't know if it'll be another disruptor next. I think that Lasercorn was close, but I don't think it'll be Disney. As much money as they have, they've been hemorrhaging and losing a lot of money. The two people in the game that could throw money at this for the rest of time, Apple and Amazon.
So then you're saying it's going to be an oligopoly with just two companies running all of media, which is, I think, a huge concern. It should not get that way, and I think that is the bigger concern, where it's like, yeah, okay, if you look at Disney and the way that like news is filtered, basically Fox News and everything comes from Disney, right? Like that is a facet of their.
I don't think Disney owns the news affiliates of Fox.
Are you sure?
I thought so. I thought it was everything but
Disney,
news.
Fox
Look,
News.
let me solve this.
Oh yeah,
and,
because
and
they became
tell
a
you
standalone
how.
company in 2019.
Yeah.
Let me tell you how we're going to
Interesting. Good to
move into the future and decide which companies stay and which don't. All right. Each of the big
Something tells me it's
companies
a troll answer.
is going to make their own mech robot, right? And obviously, the
And we
companies
fight
that
it
are
out.
doing the best will be able to afford a better mech robot.
Essentially,
than
it's the baseball problem.
the other. And I don't know what that is.
The
but
New
mechs are
York
gonna fight.
The New York Yankees are one of the best players because they have the most money to spend on
one of the best
players.
teams. Yeah.
One of the best teams, yeah.
I just don't ever see Amazon or Apple pushing Disney out of the streaming space, and it's like, okay, Disney doesn't have.
They
infinite
won't
money.
push them out.
Disney doesn't care that they don't
Disney
have
will
infinite
push
money.
themselves out?
They just
They
don't.
will drop out because of the lack
No,
of money.
They're not going to drop out. They just announced park expansions, dude. They don't give a shit about. They already
Because they make money from the
their
parks.
stock prices might be whatever, but that doesn't mean they don't have money. Stock prices don't equate to money in the bank or cash reserves. Okay, stock prices are. Well, I don't know. They're
like
basically
perceived market
as they
value,
say
right?
as they say in what's the Wolf of Wall Street? It's fucking fairy dust. It's not based on like reality. So the reality is Disney has enough money to keep up their streaming service. And if at any point they want to make it profitable, they'll just raise prices slowly till it becomes profitable for them. They're not going to get pushed out by fucking Apple or Amazon.
So then
when
the
they own
next
Star
domino
Wars,
then
when
begins
they
to
own
fall.
Marvel. They just
All
own
that stuff
too
is
much-
losing
they own-
money right
they
now.
Own too much Prime IP. It doesn't matter in the grand
You can own
scheme
it.
of things,
I'm telling you, I
having those
read
properties-
so many articles that prove the otherwise. They are losing money.
on this. I will bet solid money that Disney and Max will still be around by the end of 2025, going into 2026. There's just no way they're going to get pushed out by these other companies.
They like I said,
right now.
like I said, they
I don't
will
care
not
how
get
many
pushed out.
articles say they will.
Disney will not get pushed out. If
They're
they
not gonna shut
leave,
down of their own-
they will change because
they will
they
not shut down
know
of
that
their
they're
own
losing
accord
so
either.
much money.
They will
Yes,
not get
I
pushed
have
out
a
or
very,
shut down.
as I said at the beginning, it is a very hot and extreme take that they will not be around. In fact, Warner Brothers is in talks or has floated the idea of buying Paramount. Then they would also have Paramount Plus, Paramount Plus in their umbrella of Discovery, DC, and so on and so forth.
Guys,
much like Disney is. But
let me ask this:
there's no money in it. There is no ROI. They're losing money on
They
it.
can
Let me
make
just-
it profitable. They have the properties. They just need to.
But then you
either
make it more
raise rates
expensive.
or
Yes,
add
you do
ad
that.
tiers.
You do that. Netflix lost 700,000. No, Disney raised their prices, lost 700,000 subscribers last year alone because of a rise in prices.
Well, they raised their prices way too fast. But yeah, there's a better way to do that. You got to do it incrementally.
There is an important thing to discuss, though. What would Disney's mech robot look like because they no
A
longer have the
giant
rights
mouse.
to Steamboat Willie?
But they still have
no, they got it
regular
back.
Mickey.
They got it back.
Well, if they got it back, someone is making a Steamboat Willie horror movie
I
already.
didn't hear
The
that they
trailer's
got
out.
it back.
They were
public
without
domain.
rights for 11. I thought it was for 11 hours. They lost it.
Well, someone's already making
Oops,
Steamboat
yeah.
Willie horror movie.
Yeah, and I think there's a game too.
Yeah, the game
Infestation
was
Idiot.
released in that window. It was
Right.
worked on beforehand and released in the window.
Amazing.
It would look like Oswald the Rabbit, of course. Anyways, it's like I said, it's a very hot take. One thing is undeniable, though.
It's just a wrong.
Like
take.
Mari
That's
said,
why you won't bet money on it, because the take is wrong.
I don't know if it's wrong. I don't
Thank you.
think I don't think it's wrong. I do think that there would just be more companies gobbling each other up.
Yeah.
If you think it's right, his take was that he doesn't think HBO Max and Disney will be around by the end of 2025. That is a wrong
Or
take.
as they stand today.
Put your money where your mouth is.
I could see either of them being rolled into a different company. The same way that it is no longer HBO Max because it's Discovery now, it is Max, right? In the same way that Disney Plus might become a conglomerate of Apple, I could see that happening.
No.
Apple's got a much higher market
No
cap.
way.
I
No
hear-
way
I
can
gotta-
Apple gobble up Disney. I'll bet you
They
$100
100%
right
could.
now,
No, not
$100
Disney, Disney Plus.
$100 on the table says Max and Disney will both be around by the end of 2025. We could come
They
back
have
and
to be
revisit.
called
Oh
those
my
things,
God.
though.
So
They
look
have
at
to be
this.
called those things, though.
Overall, Disney's
I will put
streaming
$100
business.
on there.
Okay. And they will
Overall,
not be
Disney's
bought by anyone
streaming
else.
business
Okay.
lost
We got a bet.
$387 million in just Q4 of last year. $387 million in one quarter they lost. And this is
Doesn't matter.
year over year. It's a year over year improvement of 74%
Ooh, what
from
am
a
I
loss of
using my
$1.4 billion.
$100
There's nothing
I'm
because
gonna
those
use
companies
it-
will still be around and they won't be bought out. Listen,
I'm
In
gonna use it
2022, they
towards a
lost 1.4.
billboard that hangs right around your home that says "No more jorts," and that's just what all it says. I'm gonna buy a billboard
Anyways,
for 1
you
month.
can't buy
and
a
it's gonna say,
billboard.
"No more jorts."
I think
can't buy a billboard
Laser
around
Corn
the house.
is getting lost on like the hot take button, the clickbait that they won't be here anymore. I said they will not stand as they will. Like I said, I think that they will step out of the market. They will give their streaming properties to someone like Amazon or someone like Apple that could spend that kind of money for 20 years to try to make it
Okay,
back.
Joven, I took the bet. I'm gonna get his $100.
Mari is swinging for you. But yeah, no, they'll still be around.
But-
Here's the thing: during the pandemic, the parks lost money. The parks lost money during the pandemic, and Disney's like, "Oh, boo-hoo! Let me cry into this billions of dollars." They can take any amount.
They
of
literally
financial
took
hits.
their CEO away from his job and brought the old CEO back in because they couldn't
But they didn't
boo-hoo
close the
over lost
parks,
money.
and they're not going to sell. They didn't sell.
Of
the
course
parks off,
not.
and they're not going to sell the streaming service off because they. Can
I think
weather
that
the
you were
storm
looking at this-
because they can weather the storm until it is profitable because they have infinity billion
It might not be profitable though. That's the thing. They might
will
not
be.
see that.
Yeah,
they
they have
lost.
infinity $billion, but who
They
has
lost
trillions
1.4
of dollars? It's Apple.
Infinity is more than a
They're-
trillion,
they're
Mari.
in
One-
Infinity is more than a trillion.
Laser Corn.
Math.
You said
They've lost.
infinity billions.
They have
You said
lost
infinity
1.4 billion dollars just in one quarter alone back in 2022 during the pandemic when streaming should have been at its height.
They don't care.
The prices are too high. People are dropping away. Other people are buying and consuming these other platforms. By the end of 2025, streaming as we know it will look vastly different than it does today. That's my rant.
You can say streaming will look vastly different because that is a very vague prediction. And if anything changes, you could be like, "Ooh, look, that thing changed." Your specific hot take.
No,
that
that's
Hey, it worked
changed.
for
I'm saying
Nostradamus.
vastly changed.
that's still vague. That hot take that you started with that Disney Plus
Joven,
and HBO Max will not be around.
See, you're just looking at that one line and being like, no, of course Disney will never back down because they have an infinite amount of money, even though it is well documented that they have regretted putting out Disney Plus and have shown that they've lost so much money and they do not know how to make it back. Their wild attempt to try to consolidate their losses is by getting Hulu and be like, no, now it's all here in one spot and tricking their subscribers into paying for two.
I have the Hulu. You know why I believe in it, Joven? Because it f***ing worked. I have the Disney Hulu bundle now.
And you watch commercials.
And guess who canceled both? This person.
Oh, really?
The only one that I do have is Max because it comes free with my AT&T line. You should check to see if your cell phone line's giving
I'm on
free
Spectrum.
Hey,
that's actually a really good point.
I'm on the Spectrum.
Today is a day for taking risks. I think you will have vast improvements to your day as it goes on. Your lucky numbers are 7, 13, and 62.
Yeah. I'm curious how this... Remind us, folks, in the comments in case we forget. Because I want to see how this bet shakes out. End of 2025. If Max and Plus are still around and have not been bought out by another company, I'm getting $100.
Here's what you do, Lasercorn.
Or changed in name alike.
I'm going to spend it on a mannequin of me in jorts, and I'm going to have a drone just fly it around your house all day. It'll just float by your windows.
How much do you think drones cost?
Keep dreaming because you're going to be looking at that billboard every single day. Something about this, I need to work out or something because this conversation may be hot, man.
Yeah,
ladies and gentlemen,
this the most angry people have gotten into discussion in our podcast ever.
Ladies and gentlemen, let us know in the comments below what you think the streaming platforms will look like by the end of 2025, and share the landscape as well. And let us know: are you Team Joven, Team Mari, Team Lasercorn, or just nice, quiet, calm, cool, collected like Team Sohinky?
I just want to know what Netflix's robot is going to look like because there's
going to be a giant red box.
It's going to be an empty bag of money.
Yeah.
Wait, empty?
Empty. They're not going to have enough.
Because Max is going to buy them. Max will buy them up.
Honestly, Max will probably try to buy more and lose money because Zaslav is an idiot.
I don't want Netflix to go anywhere, but I just don't know.
You don't have Netflix.
I do.
You said you only had Max.
No, she says she got rid of Hulu and Disney.
Hulu and Disney.
Gotcha.
I'm a Netflix diehard. I don't want them to go anywhere. I'm just worried about them, you know?
You just got to check in on them.
You need to call every now and then, like, hey, you still doing okay?
Yeah, very much so.
Well, folks, thank you for listening to my rant, and thank you to my friends for letting me replace one of Sohinky's better topics to deal with my future of the industry, as dry as it may be.
Anything for you? All we did was just yell.
All I wanted to do was yell into the void. So yeah,
we got a spirited debate out of it. I'll be honest, I was worried when you started your rant. I'm like, oh, this is going to be boring, but no, it got heated. Yeah. So, and aggression is always good. People love it when we argue.
We should have a hook at the. We should have a hook at the top of this video where it's just that part where I'm yelling in my microphone. You two are yelling. And it just cuts to Sohinky like, yeah, cool.
I was literally the whole time just kind of nodding my head.
And then it goes back to the start. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching.
Yeah. Hey, everybody, if you're watching this here on YouTube, guess what? We get even angrier over on our Patreon sometimes. You can, who can attest to that? All these fine people over here who are just wanting to make sure, much like Netflix, that we are doing okay. So, thanks for checking in on us over on our Patreon, patreon.com/OGSoG. And you, too, can be some of the people making sure we're okay and getting extended cuts and topics that don't even end up here on YouTube. So go check it out. Support us. Stop being freeloaders, because we need money.